It's rare that two paintings can take down a stock, but that's exactly what happened today. Sotheby's missing the earnings this morning, $1.08 versus the estimate of $1.56. But what really rattled investors was the story of just two paintings that missed big on the auction block and brought down the overall margins. And that's a very important measurement for Sotheby's. Now, Sotheby's didn't name the paintings, but sources tell me the first painting was a Modigliani that was expected to sell for $150 million. And Sotheby's had guaranteed for about that amount, but it hammered for about $139. Now, the fee paid by the sellers still made it profitable, but just barely. Now, the second painting was a lot worse. It was Picasso's 1932 portrait of his mistress. Sotheby's agreed to pay the seller around $45 million, but it hammered for $36 million. Even after the buyer's fee, they ended up losing between $6 to $7 million on just that painting alone. Now, CEO Tad Smith said when he took over a few years ago, he would be, quote, more careful with these guarantees. On the call this morning, he called the Picasso, quote, a pricing error.
So in other words, they promised more to the seller than they were able to get from a buyer.
That's right.
And so they've got to
make up the difference. Yeah.
That's right. And today, what people don't realize in the art market, the tough thing as an auction house is not selling the painting, it's getting the good stuff to sell from the sellers. And more, as we get more competitive, they're having to up those guarantees to the seller, making bigger and bigger bets with the house money. And when they don't sell, it's very expensive. We saw in the last cycle, down cycle, it got expensive for both them and Christie's.
So is this a top, or is this just a special situation here?
I think this shows the competition for getting the good stuff is getting tougher. And the fall sales will be a real test of whether they continue to do those guarantees or whether they back off and just allow the competitor to get the good stuff. And then they get all the headlines.
Was this a particularly coveted Picasso? I mean, it was hard to tell what the woman looked like.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a selfie.
Look, by most measures, it was a great Picasso.
Yeah.
They just overpriced it by $9 million. And look, no pun intended, pricing in the art market is an art, not a science.
There she is.
She was an attractive woman.
I give you about $1.39 for that. I don't understand modern art. I don't get it.
Robert, thank you
Thank you, guys.